I think we just have to keep reminding everyone now that it is our job to be 1% better or 5% better, not 100% better, because the only way we can be sustainable in life, whether that's business or, protecting and saving the environment, is to just do the little steps that we can to move forward instead of feeling the insurmountable weight to do it alone and then never doing anything.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another brand new episode of the What the Nell Podcast, the Ecopreneur's Edge edition, with my wonderful co-host, Mikee Benz. Mikee, welcome back.
Hi, Nell. Thank you so much again for having me on this lovely series. I can't believe we're in season 3, and I can't believe season 3 is wrapping up, and we're doing it at such a time that we have a great topic to chat about today.
We do, because I feel like everyone's getting into this frame of mind. I quickly just realized when I was putting some makeup on this morning, I completely neglected my eyebrows. So if you're watching this and you're like, what is happening to her face? And that's what's happening. Anyway, we're talking about, so the time that this episode releases, we are going to be in the full swing of, oh my gosh, what do I do for the holidays? Where am I going for Thanksgiving? What gifts am I going to buy? All the things. So we're talking about sustainability at the holidays today. So we've got some really cool tips and tricks and thoughts around how to be more sustainable and how to not let the sustainability goals go out the window just because it's the holidays.
I'm so excited to talk about this. For those who don't know me, I am Mikee with 2 E's. The 2 E's in my name stand for the environment and everyone, the 2 things that I care about most in life, business, and all the adventures that we have. And just a side note, we're recording this during my birthday month, which is September, and my favorite color is orange. So when it's releasing in
favorite
October,
color is October.
I mean, where's the lie though? So you have no eyebrows, but I have plenty of orange for us. So we're going to do just fine. But when this releases in October, like you said, it's going to be like prime time holiday season, whether that's Halloween or Thanksgiving or Diwali or Hanukkah or Christmas. So we are talking about sustainability during the holidays. And because I'm an environmental activist and enthusiast, I have been trying to find ways to make life easier and more sustainable during the holidays, whether that is drinking black pumpkin spice flavored coffee or, finding unique and creative ways to gift wrap presents or using my solar panels to charge my holiday decorations.
Ooh.
So what are we talking about? Where do you want to start today, Nell?
Well, I think one of the biggest things that people are thinking about ahead of time, even maybe before gifts, before food, is decorations, because there are a lot of people, I know people are starting to decorate earlier and earlier every single year. So lighting is a huge part of that. Plastic crap, for lack of a better term, that the stores are selling is a huge issue. So I have thoughts around this, Mikee. I would love to know, first of all, do you decorate at the holidays?
So, great topic. I think I saw Reese's Peanut Butter Cup pumpkins at the grocery store right after July 4th. So this is the perfect time to talk about the holidays. But no, when it comes to decorating, I think design and creating comfy, welcoming, warm spaces is so unique for our sustainability journeys and so imperative. Because it gives us our voice, our freedom, our expression to, create the spaces where we thrive as sustainably as possible. So my biggest tip, trick, technique for decorating is to invest in statement pieces. Ooh. So I am so beyond blessed that not only am I an artist, but I have many great artists around me that I love to support. So I have purchased throughout the years or created my own statement pieces. If you watch on YouTube, I have a beautiful little I don't even know what to call it, my display in the background,
Yeah.
utilizes creative elements such as lighting, like my beautiful orange lights behind me, which are powered by my solar panels. So I never feel, dishonest about saving the environment when I'm using all of my fancy and fun lighting.
Hmm.
But I also have like a ceramic Pokeball down here that it's actually a piggy bank. But it was like
Oh,
such a big
that's so
Pokeball.
cool.
My spouse actually got that for me for
Yeah.
Christmas like 7 years ago.
Oh,
And so
that's so
like it's
sweet.
just been a part of my background since I designed I call this my YouTube studio,
Yeah.
in 2020 during the pandemic. I have a little crystal saxophone behind me.
I love that.
So instead of investing in like, the little plastic decorations that come out, from Dollar General or Walmart or Target even, like
Mhm.
it drives me crazy sometimes when I walk through Michael's, the art store, uh,
Yes.
Hobby Lobby, stuff like that.
Yeah.
All of the not really reusable stuff that's going to be good for one season and then head to the landfill. And we know because we talked about recycling, only 9% of everything that goes in the recycling bin, actually gets recycled. And those um, kind of faux garlands or it's like a tinsel boas, I call them.
Yes. Yeah.
They're like so extra plasticky and so hard to recycle. I would rather have my ceramic pumpkin that I inherited from my mother-in-law. That's
Right.
beautiful and I can stick like a tea light inside
Hmm.
or organic beeswax candle or something that I feel comfortable putting inside, but then I can reuse that every
Right.
single year.
Yes, and it's timeless. Like those things never go out of style. And I think it's really important too to decorate or design with thoughtful pieces. And part of that is investing in statement pieces, but also cherishing those gifts that you're given. And I know I've had friends that are very crafty. That I have a ceramic tree that someone has made for me, and it's beautiful. It was made by hand, and I use it every single year. It just doesn't go out of style. It's just gorgeous. I love that. And that's a really great way to think about decor at the holidays. And my suggestion is twofold because I'm thinking about the indoors and our health, and I'm also thinking about sustainable decorations. I'm really blessed to have two very large, beautiful pine trees in our backyard. And I mean, it's dropping pine cones all the time. So I have collected pine cones over the year, and they stay great. I mean, they stay looking great. You can always pop them in glass jars. You can set them around. You can put little fairy lights or something around them. And I use pines. I just clip a few pines and I tuck them around the house, and it creates a warm coziness. It smells great because it's the natural pine scent, and it just looks beautiful. And what's great about it is when you're throwing it out, I mean, it's biodegrading, so there's that. You're not throwing out plastic. And my other biggest thing with decor is in the indoors especially is scents and aromas. And when you mentioned Michael's, when you walk in, there that scent of cinnamon and pine, the fake pine just hits you with all the candles and everything. My tip is to use essential oils with diffusers. Pine is certainly something that you can use, eucalyptus, cinnamon, orange oils. You can do a little blend. You can also pop on your stove, some cranberries, some rosemary, some pine, things like that. Get the natural scents going rather than using those fake candles that are harmful to your health and the environment.
Those are such great tips. I love those. And it was really taking me back to my childhood where my mom used to put a boiling pot of water on the stove
Oh,
and she
yeah.
would put orange peel,
Uh-huh.
cinnamon, cloves, and I think a little bit of like allspice and just make this beautiful autumn, aroma that would fill the house. Now, my caveat to that is, don't leave the house with
Oh,
things,
yes, we
you know.
want we want everyone to be home while they're working with stove features.
So it's not like a set it and forget it because it's super dangerous. But I was reminded of that and like what a great piece of nostalgia from my childhood that was very natural and not necessarily harmful when it comes to VOCs, volatile organic compounds in our homes. And then the other thing that I kind of and like there's so much to talk about during the holidays. I feel like we're just going to keep rapid fire going into topics now.
Yeah.
I am a huge fan and advocate for cutting down and using real Christmas trees.
Oh, yes.
So, there's a lot of tips. I'm sure you can Google like best practices for Christmas trees, but the sustainability aspect of it is when we go to a Christmas tree farm, not only are we supporting local businesses because they're really hard, like I'm pretty sure Target and Walmart don't have a Christmas tree, farm. So we're supporting local businesses in our areas. Now, if you're in Arizona and listening to this, I don't really know what to tell you, but your Christmas cactus, I guess.
Yeah, I was gonna say get a Christmas cactus.
But I'm a huge fan and advocate of this for the ecosystem because our Christmas tree farmers are the ones that are replanting the trees because their whole business like depends upon them having trees to sell.
Right.
So I was just talking in my salon the other day about print media and how it's become like a lost art. Nobody reads the newspaper. Everything's consumed digitally, which we can say great things about the sustainability of digital technology, and I'm a huge fan and advocate for it. But when the print media started, going out of business, that in turn made the paper companies go out of business. And the paper companies harvested the trees. And the only way the paper companies had more paper to harvest was if they planted more trees. So as these paper companies went out of business because the print media was not being consumed, nobody was sustainably managing forests anymore. And so that has led to this like crazy deforestation epidemic on top of everything else that we have going on, destroying our ecosystems. So that's why I'm a huge fan and advocate of real Christmas trees.
I love it, Mikee, and thank you for giving us some of the background as far as why this is actually a sustainable option. And I could see where somebody would think, but isn't cutting a tree down like the opposite of what we want to be doing? But thank you for explaining that, because no, that's actually not the opposite of what we want to be doing. And, it takes a lot of resources to make the artificial trees, and resources that include, not limited to, transportation and labor and materials and all the things that go into creating hefty plastic waste.
I will caveat on that and say I do utilize artificial Christmas trees because in my business, I have people who are allergic.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And so I have to be mindful of creating a healthy space for the people who come support my business.
Yes.
And my spouse is also allergic.
Oh,
So at home and at work, I have to utilize artificial. However, both of my artificial trees I inherited, I saved from the landfill.
Oh, that's great.
So
That's
I
awesome.
didn't actively go out and consume, and I vote with my dollar that I want more artificial trees. I just ended up, protecting our landfills.
Yes. Yes. And it's important too. I mean, I have a cat. So, I mean, we have, oh my gosh, we have a tree that, oh my gosh, we've had it for years. I actually think it might have come with my husband before. I don't know, but we have a cat. And so I think the message we should be sending is, if, when possible and able to, real trees are the best option. But if you're unable to, obviously you have to make sacrifices somewhere. We talk about not being perfect all the time. None of us are making the exact right decisions every single second of every day. And this counts too at the holidays. You have to do what you have to do. So if you can maybe compensate somewhere else in your sustainability journey at the holidays, then that's great.
And Yes, I 100% echo that. And just continuing on in the conversation of, Christmas trees, since that is a, huge holiday for a lot of the consumers of this podcast, or vodcast if you're watching on YouTube. When I get my artificial trees that I saved from the landfill, I utilize LED lighting,
Hmm.
which is really cool because I have a set that goes with my lights behind me, that I can control from my phone. They're powered by my solar panels, and they utilize a lot less electricity, than traditional Christmas lights that don't have as long of a shelf life
Right.
as well.
Yes. Yeah, that's really important too. Okay, so there are two other specific topics that I want to approach for sure in our time here. I think the next most important one is the gifting aspect, where, okay, without getting too deep into the pressures of gift giving at the holiday, because I have thoughts on that. From a mental health sustainability standpoint and financial health sustainability standpoint, but let's just assume we're all buying gifts. So, what are your tips for gift giving at the holidays?
So number one, gift giving should be fun.
Yes.
Making it fun makes it sustainable. So I think it's it's amazing to see the differences between myself and some other people, because I do not feel pressured when it comes to the holiday
Mhm.
time because of gift giving. When I do feel pressured is Thanksgiving, because the Sunday after Thanksgiving, I have a select group of close people that I host a Friendsgiving for, and it's a
Mm.
lot of time to make a whole. And we do organic,
Yep.
elevated menu stuff. So like it's a lot of time and a lot of financial consideration to do such an event. Beyond that, if it doesn't feel fun to me to do the gift giving, I don't. And I have no problem, saying, oh, I never expect gifts. I'm blessed to be in an industry. I think the only people who like get treated better during the holiday season is the mail person than the hairdresser. So like I love the gift giving time and the gift receiving time. It's very charitable almost, but I never feel pressure, and I don't think anyone should feel pressure, because our mental health is kind of the second most important health after our physical health that we coach to. And there's
Yes.
no reason to be stressed out over such a joyous time and occasion.
I 100% agree. Okay, since we are going here, yes, this is part, I think, one of the biggest sustainability issues of the holidays, because there's already so much going on. There's so much craziness in the world, and we're out and about, and people are angry because they're trying to, they've got limited time, limited resources, and they wait until the last minute if they're really, if they're buying gifts, and there's just this elevated sense of something going on. And the last thing we need is for people to feel that pressure of gift giving. And we used to, oh my goodness, we had, our families, when I got married, our families combined. And then there's those gifts, and the gifts for friends, and the gifts for the kids, and all of this stuff. And finally, my husband and I said, look, we're not doing this anymore. And what we started offering instead of gifts is just an experience. Maybe take a nice dinner out, go support a local restaurant, have create some memories, spend some time together. And so we started doing that. We will buy each other a few things. If I know there's something that Kenny's really been wanting for a while, I'll source that and buy that for him. But we've also given each other the gift of travel at the holidays. Take a really nice, if it's been a long time since you've had a weekend getaway, go do that. So experiences over things. And I think that alleviates some of the pressure too, because you don't have to make sure you have the delivery date right on time. You don't have to wrap it. You don't have to do all these things. Speaking of wrapping and gifting, I have options for that. But experiences over things. And if you're included in that experience, amazing. You get to benefit from that as well. But giving concert tickets, giving, something that you can yeah, experiences, something that you can have fun with. And people that you love can go out and enjoy with their families and their friends and things like that. And to me, honestly, even as the gifter, I get more out of giving those types of things than seeing someone open something.
Would agree. Remind me now, because I want to talk about like the pressures of having kids and a family when it comes to that.
Yes.
However, before I say that, I want to remind everyone that typically we're going to be able to buy our own gifts better than anyone else is going to be able to buy
For
gifts
sure.
for us. So like
Yes.
sometimes throughout the years as my siblings have had more nieces and nephews added to the family, I have just come out and said, we're not going to do gifts, but like if you want, feel free to use whatever, budget you would have for gift giving to buy my nieces and nephews something nicer.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Because it got to the point where it's just like I have 100 people to buy for. And
Yes.
that's
It's
not
absurd.
sustainable.
No, it's not. None of us should be killing our financial sustainability to buy some things.
So anytime somebody says, "Oh, don't get me a gift," I'm like, "Oh, great. Also, don't get me a gift."
Yes. Those are my people.
But then, there are the pressures, and I understand as somebody who does not, have kids of my own,
Mhm.
there are pressures to keep up with the Joneses,
For
if you
sure.
will. However, I would love to say, for mental health's sake and for our budget's sake, I can't imagine a family, they got a gift, like a large gift, whatever that looks like for you, and a deck of playing cards, and
Mhm.
mom and dad, or mom and mom, or dad and dad, or whatever, sat down for an hour and had, an I Declare War tournament. Like, every kid is going to have such a great day with, hot chocolate, hopefully organic, sustainable hot chocolate,
That's right.
and an experience with mom and dad.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
that eliminates so much of those. Like, I need to get a mountain of presents underneath the tree.
Oh gosh, I've known people that have literally bought their kids 40 gifts and put them under the tree, and every single one is wrapped in the gift wrap and the bows and all of the things. It's really discouraging actually when I feel that people have that pressure of having to buy these specific things and having to buy 40 gifts to put under there. I don't love that for them. It's very disheartening.
And then all 40 of those gifts ends up the iPad is planned obsolescence.
Mm.
So that's going to end up, who knows where. And then the 39 other gifts are going to end up making microplastics biodegrading in
Yes,
the
because we
landfill.
we all know that kids really just don't hold on to things very long.
And not for their own fault. Like
No.
I was the same way as a kid. We all were.
Sure. Sure. Yes, that's kids being kids. So, okay. Gift giving. So the part that I wanted to say about the gift wrapping is if you are giving something, again, I love like a little sprig of pine or a little pine cone as a bow, maybe a little kitchen twine, a little burlap twine or something to tuck that on. You can wrap in I mean, people don't want to use old newspapers, but paper bags. You can remember when we used to do that when we were kids to our textbooks in school? I mean, how fun would it be to have that nostalgic moment and do that? And you're recycling. So you're giving something a second life. You're using natural elements, and it's just honestly kind of sleek looking and very chic, I guess, sitting under the tree.
It was so funny too, going back to the textbook wrapping. How many things, like literal, things, not biodegradable things that made us feel so cool in school. Tamagotchis.
Oh my
Anyone?
gosh.
So it's really funny to think about those things, but like one of the like epitomes of how cool you were was like what you decorated your paper bag textbook with. I
Hmm.
remember the little S that we
Oh
all
my gosh,
used to
the
draw.
Superman S. Yes.
So I remember that and like what a status symbol.
What? Seriously?
And it
And all
was
the Lisa
just
Frank
a
stickers?
reusable or like a reused paper bag from the grocery store.
Oh, those were the days, Mikey. Take us back.
Yes, for real. But something I want to add, and I had not thought of this, one of my amazing, well, actually one of the clients who really not forced me, but made me want to force myself to add vegan options into my salon, used old t-shirts as gift wrap.
That's really cool.
And I was like, that's actually really cool. It was fun because it was like a Rubik's Cube puzzle to undo. And then I was like, well, my gift wrapping doesn't usually look like this, so I ended up giving that, t-shirt. And obviously we use a clean t-shirt. Like don't go to
Yeah.
the gym and be like, here, I'm gonna get
Unless you really it's a Secret Santa that you don't love.
but like you can Google and there are videos on how to use old clothing as gift wrap. And I thought
That
that
is
that
so
was a really
cool.
interesting way to keep clothes out of the landfill
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, because the apparel industry is definitely one of the number one polluters on this planet. So that's an amazing tip. Okay, let's talk about food.
Oh, let's do it.
I mean, okay. So celebrate Thanksgiving. I celebrate Christmas. I do love turkey. I have a local farm that we buy our turkeys from. And it's also amazing so when you go to the grocery store and you buy, let's just say the Butterball turkeys, the frozen, they're usually big and pumped full of water and other chemicals and things like that.
Antibiotics,
Yes.
medicine,
Ugh.
hormones.
All the things.
Hmm.
When we go to the farm, I feel really good about a couple of things. I feel really good about supporting our local farmers. And number two, they're hormone free, antibiotic free. The feed they receive is great, way better than what the grocery store is carrying. But the local farm also offers sizing options. So they'll offer just turkey breasts, they'll offer half turkeys, just the legs. So you can conceivably buy what you need. And so if it's just my husband and I, we don't need an entire turkey. So we buy just a breast or a breast and a leg or something like that. So you don't over consume because that's part of the sustainability too. And we love getting cranberries from the farm and fresh greens and things like that to add to our holiday dinners. So that's one thing I feel really good about. And Mikey, what do you do at the holidays?
So, number one, I don't want to forget that we need to go back to Halloween, which is,
Oh, yes. Oh my gosh.
well, unofficially, my birthday is the kickoff to holiday season at the end of September. But then we have, Halloween and pumpkin
Yeah,
spice and
so
apple
true.
harvest and all that stuff.
Yes.
And then, so I don't want to forget to talk about how we can make candy
Yes.
sustainable,
Yeah.
which I still haven't figured that one out. But when it comes to Thanksgiving, a place here locally that I do love to support is called Paulus Orchards, and I'm probably in the next week or two gonna go do the apple harvesting
Oh, yeah.
because I literally go pick the apples. They're all treated so well. They have, bees on site and plenty of not, on site bees for pollination. So I will literally pick the apples. I will use organic ingredients,
Hmm.
make the pie crust from scratch. I have a statement piece, a Snorlax Pokemon cookie cutter that I always cut out little pieces of the fat little Pokemon and put
Oh
them
my
on top
gosh.
of
So
the
cute.
apple pie and literally create from scratch. It's one of the best gifts that I give for Friendsgiving is hand picked homemade apple pies.
Oh,
But then they also have, corn. So I will harvest that. I'll cut it off the stalk and freeze that so I
mhm.
can have, organic, locally grown corn. I will do sweet potatoes. So just seeing what I can source from a local business and a sustainable business to provide for food. And not everything, like, obviously a turkey's not going to keep for super long. So we have to just be mindful to do what we can in making the menu as sustainable as possible, and also forgiving ourselves for the things that aren't so easy.
Yes, that is very true. And no, you're absolutely right. And I know, a lot of people, especially around here in central Pennsylvania, there's a lot of origins. People, the culture here is very, canning is a huge part of that. And I know that there are people that will go to the orchards, pick the apples. They'll can fresh applesauce and baked apples, cinnamon apples, things like that. So that is part of that as well. And that way you can enjoy, if you're doing corn, you can buy it during the summer, take it off the stalk, like, or the cob, as you'd mentioned, and keep that going year round until the next summer. So those are great options. But yes, I do not want to forget, because I think the part of the reason why we said we wanted to do this episode is to talk about Halloween because of all the candy. I mean, if there is one thing at the holidays that is going to ruin sustainability for all of us, it's the Halloween candy.
And luckily, there are forces at work. I'm going to get a little spicy here.
Do it.
There are forces at work right now that are putting pressure and making the battles come to light of what our processed food industry has been doing to us and our children for literal decades now. So I know at the beginning of this year, Nell, we talked about the win of having red number 3 banned by the FDA. And there have since been more wins in that regard by state, local, and federal policy banning, or not banning, but incentivizing other companies to remove artificial flavors and artificial colorings from a lot of their recipes. Now, I know that there are some restaurants out there that are doing high fructose corn syrup free things. I heard Coca-Cola is going to make their soda without high fructose corn syrup. So at scale, we are finally starting to win in the processed food category. When that happens, it will be a lot easier to make Halloween candy, a little bit more healthy and a little bit more sustainable, because when you use real ingredients, you need those ingredients to stay sustainable, just like the paper from the print media. And so that is a great large scale thing. Small scale, I do love, and we can talk about the lack of sustainability in Halloween costumes as well. But I do have a couple statement costumes that I've had for a while. My favorite one to wear for trick or treat night is a Grover onesie. And I think I've had it for like closing in on a decade now. Yeah, Grover from Sesame Street.
Oh my gosh.
It's the cutest. The people are like, "Are you Elmo?" I'm like, "No, Elmo's red, silly child."
Silly child? Oh, that is right.
So, but it is very hard for me because I am aware of some sustainable, natural, organic, kind of healthy for us candy options. Justin's is a pretty large scale organic candy company. It is very hard for me to justify spending $2,170 to give everyone Justin's Reese's peanut butter cups. So as the large candy companies get better, and as we get more aware of which companies are making, better for us candy, we can integrate that. But there's really no good. And look, I still have Reese's peanut butter cups as my cheat day. I would never give them up. They're not super bad. Hopefully they get better, but it is okay, I think, as long as we maintain moderation during the year, to have one night of Twizzlers and Skittles and Reese's peanut butter cups.
Yes, I 100% agree. It's, It is once a year, and if we're really being conscious about certain things, there are options out there, like you'd mentioned, Justin's. I'm thinking from not even just handing out candy, because there are some neighborhoods that get hundreds of kids to their doors. And so those people are probably investing a lot more. We get 10 at most. So I would, maybe I could at some point decide to give everyone a Justin's peanut butter cup, because I have that option if I'm only buying for 10 kids as opposed to 100. So there is that. So think about the consumption that's going to be happening. But also, I know there are families that have little bowls sitting around the house or during a Halloween party for candy consumption. And I just discovered, and people, please don't come for me when I say I love candy corn. I do. I just can't help it. Some people absolutely hate candy corn. I did find a very good natural alternative to the regular candy corn that we have. They're made with honey instead of high fructose corn syrup, and they are absolutely delicious. I love them. I don't remember where I found them. Because I haven't had them in years. I just try not to keep candy around just for, personal reasons. But there are options out there for some of this type of candy. So if you're truly looking for something, there are options. But two, think about how much consumption is going on trick or treat night or during a party. What are you comfortable with providing? And yeah, I think we shouldn't. The biggest part is don't completely knock yourself down and kick yourself for having candy. I love a Twizzler too. There's nothing wrong with that.
100%. Hopefully, you can link wherever you get your good for you candy corn in the show notes.
I need to remember. I cannot remember where I found that. Actually, maybe my husband found it and he saw it because he thought of me because I love candy corn. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so good. And that one year, I consumed an entire bag and I just couldn't stop. And I didn't buy it again because I was afraid I was going to do the same thing.
Oh my God. My other weakness, Middlesworth barbecue chips. So like, I don't usually eat a whole bag of anything except that.
Well, Mikey, you can feel good about that because they're a local company. So
they are.
There we go.
we won't. I mean, they're not horrible for you. They're not an all the time snack, but they're not horrible.
No, there's definitely worse out there for sure.
But I think as like, our last topic, if you will, the sustainability of Halloween costumes.
Yes.
And I was just thinking, like, obviously the statement pieces are going to be great. I have invested over the years in some really awesome, like, cosplay level. I have the Witcher costume that was made from vegan leather, so it's going to last, for a long time. Yeah. And I have Thor, and I have Trunks from Dragon Ball Z. And like that was actually like these were all handmade by local or semi-local artisans. And so those I'll be able to recycle whenever I feel like it. But I was and the reason I wanted to say this is because if we don't create it now, I think it should be out there for somebody to create. I would love to see local Facebook groups for Halloween costume. Like, I'm done with this. Here's my hand-me-down.
Well, that would be so great.
So,
yeah, I mean, we don't need another spirit of Halloween. Let's be our own spirits of Halloween and donate, hand down, recycle, all of those things. Yes, I love that so much. I think that's a great idea. I personally love making Halloween costumes out of things I already own. So even if that just means, putting some weird pieces together that I already have that maybe don't make sense together and just being a weirdo for Halloween, I don't know. But one of my favorite things to do is put together an 80s costume. And I have, leggings, and I have the bodysuit, and I have a jean vest. I mean, these are pieces that I already own. I had to buy the bodysuit, but I mean, it's something that I can wear again and again. And I can also wear it to work out if I want to. And I can utilize it in other spaces, not just at Halloween.
Yes. Bodysuits and things that we already have. And it's gonna make me take this to the other spicy realm and be like, there have been times I've worn a beautiful red, pair of undergarments and some devil horns. And that was, I don't hand out candy in that because it's too cold.
Yes, because it's too cold. Like, yes.
But there have been some adult-oriented, parties that I've attended where it was things I happen to already have.
I was just gonna say there is still a multi-use. It's pure spice, Mikee. I love it.
I told you we're teasing season 4 a little.
Oh my goodness, Mikee, this has been such a fun episode. Any final thoughts before we wrap up?
I think we just have to keep reminding everyone now that it is our job to be 1% better or 5% better, not 100% better, because the only way we can be sustainable in life, whether that's business or, protecting and saving the environment, is to just do the little steps that we can to move forward instead of feeling the insurmountable weight to do it alone and then never doing anything.
That is the most important part. If you take anything away from this episode, let it be that. And if you've written down all of the things that we mentioned and you have no idea where to start, you're feeling overwhelmed, like Mikee said, just start with one. Just start with one thing. And you're already better than you were before. So awesome, Mikee. This was, like I said, so much fun. And when this episode comes out, it'll be I think it comes out September 30th. So if you're listening, happy birthday, Mikee. And happy birthday to all of our Libra friends. It's going to be an amazing holiday season. And if you have a thought or something that you would love to share with us or share photos, let us know. Send us an email, leave us a review, let us know what you want to see or hear, and share with us what you're doing, how you create sustainability at the holidays. We want to see all the things. So thank you so much for being here. If you are watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to this channel, like this video, share it with a friend, because undoubtedly you know someone that needs to hear this message too. And if you're listening on your favorite audio platform, please leave us a review. That is how we grow here at the Nell Podcast, the Ecopreneur's Edge edition. And thank you, Mikee, as always, for being an amazing co-host. And thank you all for being here. And as always, happy holidays, and we'll catch you on the next one.